Welcome back to the Parkville Project, episode 4. We've got a very special guest this week, a good friend of the show. We've got pilot Pat himself, Pat Nicholls. He's a 16:45 5K runner, 35:39 as of today, 10K runner, and a 79:15 half. He is a flying instructor, soon to get his commercial license, a proud Essendon supporter, and a lover of former female tennis players. Pat,
Oh,
welcome to the show.
thanks for having me, boys.
No worries, mate. What are your thoughts on that intro, Pat? Was it
Yeah,
just like you liked it or nah?
I guess I do. Wow, I guess she still plays, but um, yeah, I don't know how.
Oh, I thought I would add that in. I thought you might enjoy that a bit.
It's pretty funny. That's good. She's not here at the moment. I think she'd find that quite funny.
Um,
Fair enough.
yeah, and you did run 35:39 today.
I
Uh,
did.
we'll get into that a little bit later on, but of course, congratulations on the PB.
Thanks, man.
We'll start off like we normally do with the guest. If you want to talk through your running journey, how you started off, and any early memories you have.
Me. I guess I pretty much like a lot of people started running because of COVID. Like I never really ran in school. It's pretty poor runner in school, to be honest. I wasn't really noted for my running abilities at any time before, yeah, real COVID. And then I kind of had nothing to do, nothing really else. Well, no one had really much to do. Couldn't get to the gym, so I was like, well, I'll just start running, and then I just started running a lot. I think my mate made a bet that I couldn't run a half marathon, so I just went out and just ran one. I think I cooked myself. I couldn't run for like a week after that, but I was like, it actually felt really good. It was the first run that I'd ever done in my life where I was like, oh, I was like at 18K and I was like, oh, this doesn't feel as bad as I thought it would. Like maybe this running thing ain't so bad. And then I just kept improving my times from there, really.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
did you do any I guess school cross country or track at school?
I always went to cross country. Like I always did it, especially in primary school because you get the day off. Like if you qualify, if you qualify for the next level, you get the day off. So I'd run my heart out and like just make the qualifying time and then just go and then probably blow up in the actual race where there was actual hills. Like at my
Oh, yeah.
school, there was no actual hills. So we'd run on flat and then we'd go to like the course and then all the boys, we'd all sprint out the oval and then hit the first hill and just blow up. But it was a day off school, so who cares? And then at high school, I didn't really take him serious until like year 11 and 12 when I was like, oh, a couple of the guys got together and we do it like a few practice runs, and then we'd hit the school ath day, or not. I think it was a separate day cross country, and then we just have a crack. And yeah, so I think I came third in year 12. That was the best ever result. Yeah,
It's pretty good. Yeah.
was
Um,
yeah,
and with the cross country, obviously the mindset's changed then, but like us growing up, we just wanted to get out there and yeah, the day off was probably the
yeah.
main motivator. But what about the hills though? Talk us through like after that first hill, what was the mindset there? Just finish the race or something? Or
Yeah, it's just like, wow. I get to the top of the hill and realize he probably got like another 2K left. And then I just probably like, if it was going real bad, I'd have to walk a bit, recover myself, recover myself, and then resume running. I had small legs back then. So 3K was a fair way. I was probably like 7 years old. So when I did the first one, so
all right.
3K was a long way.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Mm.
that it was always a great day out, and yeah. But I always thought like that's how running felt. Like, I thought that that's what all running was. So I dreaded running because I was like, if running feels like that, who would want to do it? Like, why would you do that? And then when I slowed down and actually ran easy and during COVID and stuff, I was like, oh, you can actually like running's a lot different to what I thought it was when I was a kid. So yeah,
No, that's completely understandable, Pat, because
yeah,
I reckon that's a very good way to put it. Like during cross country in high school, you kind of felt like running wasn't fun as such, and
yeah,
now we really enjoy it, and we're doing a lot more Ks than we were, 4 or 5 years ago. So it just
yeah.
shows how things can change very quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe give us a snapshot on how you joined the club, like obviously during COVID times and early memories on the dev squad and how, Ellie, Dan, Maddie all helped
Yeah.
us become better runners.
Yeah. So obviously I think toward the end of COVID is when I started like entering in just like races and stuff. And then I wanted something to, well, I never really had anyone to train with. And I wanted to like sort of work out a way to take the running to sort of the next level. So I was just doing some Googling, like looking for just running groups around my area. I found a few, but like there wasn't many that sort of targeted track more so. It was more just like go for a run around Gisborne area and that's it. So I wanted something on a track. The closest was like Melbourne Uni or Essendon. So I was like, well, Melbourne Uni had an opening for like come and try that Friday. And then I was like, or it might have been a Wednesday actually. And I just sort of went down and just joined in. And then I went to pretty much every Monday, Wednesday from then on.
Was there a bit of a funny story when you rocked
Yeah.
up? The first person you met there?
First person I met there was Wes. And when I asked him where he was from, he said Gisborne, and he actually lives about a K from my house. So I went all the way to Melbourne and met someone that runs from Gisborne, so, which is where I'm from. So yeah,
That is hilarious. So did you two know each other before then, or
No.
like literally no?
No idea who he was. He was just the first guy I like spoke to at Dev Squad, and yeah, he lives a K away from my house.
Yeah,
never saw him before.
that's pretty funny because Wes was the first person I spoke to as well. Bit of Illuminati stuff again. Like last week. Yeah, full circle, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack? Who's the first person you spoke to?
Felix actually. Felix
Oh, right.
Esperson. I'm not did you meet him, Jez?
Yeah, your 21st last year.
Oh, right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he used to run a fair bit for the club. And yeah, he was the first person I met. And then, actually, I'm pretty sure Wes was there that night as well.
I think Dante as well.
Yeah, Dante. So
yeah.
I think actually Dante was the first person I know of that I saw, but I didn't speak to him on that night. And then there was a second night that I ran. I spoke to Felix first, and then we did hill reps at Royal Park, and it was him, me, and Wes were like the three that were, I guess like the quicker boys in the group. So we ran together for the whole session. And then at the end we were like, oh, what's your Strava and whatnot? And then the rest is history.
Yeah, it is, mate. And segue into this, tell us about your favorite memories so far, Pat. So obviously you've raced us a few times. You've beaten both of us. We've both beaten you, I think, as well. So stitch us up here. Go for it.
Favorite memory.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. I think the only time the first time me and Jack raced, you posted that on the story last week. I won by like 10 seconds. And then I don't think
it's actually 3 seconds back.
Put a bit of milk on that.
I don't think I ever beat you again until maybe like a 5K last year or something.
Yeah, like you made me 5K chance last year.
Yeah, but I don't think you were running to your full potential that time. I don't know.
So. You had COVID, you can have it.
Yeah.
And then Jezza, I don't know. We've raced a fair bit actually in the milers mainly.
I've got you a few times.
You've got me a few times. I can't. When have I beat you?
You beat me at Charles this year, mate. Do you remember that?
Oh, Giles Park. Yeah, I don't know where I pulled that. That was probably my best cross country run of the season. I think Giles Park. I was fresh off a half marathon.
Yeah, actually, you were fit as then.
I felt really. I was really fit, and then I went to Europe and like lost all the fitness. And I've been regaining it back. So, yeah, I was really fit at Giles Park. I'll take that. That was a pretty good run. Yeah, that was probably my best run of this winter.
Oh, right. That's
first
massive,
one.
mate.
Yeah, put spikes on and sent it. Yeah.
No, that's what you love to hear. I remember, I think that last hill you got me and I had nothing left and I was like, mate, Pat, he's already dusting me up, mate. Yeah.
The last hill, I was flying up that hill. that was a good run. That was a good run.
Oh, that's crazy, mate. And Jack, mate, what about this question? Obviously, changing the club. We're changing it through the Parkville Project. Any other further changes you want to enforce, or not enforce, but suggest for the future, Pat? Like that you see us distance runners doing?
In our squad, I don't know. I feel like I like the changes we've done sort of back end or mainly this winter, like more stuff at Prinny Park on the softer surfaces, like Optus Miles have been good, especially for the cross country. Wouldn't mind seeing some more hills and stuff. I know it's pretty flat where we run, but like Royal Park Hills, really enjoyed that session in Dev Squad. I haven't done it in a while, so something like that. Even in the track, hills early on can sort of improve your form and speed and stuff. And yeah, some hills would be nice, which I'm probably going to incorporate into my training going forward anyway. But yeah, it'd be nice to do it with the squad.
Yeah, well, you heard it first. Hills first as Paddy Nicholls. So
Yeah,
maxi taxi, mate. Got to change it
Yeah.
up.
But we do a lot of zoo reps, which I guess is the hills. But
yeah.
when it's like winter and it's dark, they're like the sketchiest things.
Oh, zoo reps, yeah. They can get a bit scary at times, especially if you get dropped and you're on your own or
Oh, mate.
you trip. There's like you could trip, or there's multiple trip points in the zoo reps. But that in the summer, when it's like daylight savings, it's a good dash of zoo reps. I do enjoy that.
I reckon I'd probably prefer them than Royal Park Hills personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of a zoo, do you ever like feel like, oh, what if some animal just comes out of nowhere? I know it's excessive, but like, yeah, what if that happens?
You definitely smell them. You definitely smell the animals when you're running past.
Yeah.
It's not a great smell when you're gassed, 1,400 meters into the rep, and you you feel terrible. You can smell something terrible as well.
Yeah. You try to suck in oxygen, and all you getting is bloody giraffe dung.
Whatever the elephant is eating that day. Yeah.
Oh, like, mate, imagine us training that 30-degree weather in a few months, and then you smell that on top of the heat. Someone's gonna chuck. Hopefully, it's not me, but I'm guaranteeing you, someone's gonna chuck. So yeah. Anyway, last one for this little bit is, what's your favorite running spot of all time, Pat? Like I don't know, easy long run loop you do?
Of like what I do regularly.
Yeah.
I think for my easy runs these days, I do love a lap of Faulkner Park. It's pretty boring. Everyone else reckons it's boring.
Or that loop.
Steve said it's just my triangle that I do or something like that. My triangle. But I do like that little loop there. Especially it's like pretty much where I stay in Melbourne sometimes. It's the only lit place where you can kind of just run and not have to cross a road. So I don't mind it. But in my local area, I would say like the trails around Mount Macedon and stuff. That's sort of where I started running. So yeah, that's a favorite spot down there. Mount Macedon.
That's your dream running spot?
My dream running spot.
Do you only run one place in the world for the rest of your life?
Oh, it's pretty nice running in St. Moritz, not gonna lie. That was pretty nice. Gonna lie. The track and the lake, like to run around that was pretty elite. Felt pretty elite up there. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, mate. What about the $12 coffees though? Not a fan of them.
Oh yes, they're very expensive there. If you want to stay in St. Moritz, you're gonna need a bit of money behind you. But you can certainly do it on a budget. There's ways around it, but yeah, you'll have to adjust maybe how you would usually live. You'd probably have to adjust that a little bit, eat a little bit more on a budget. But yeah, it's doable. It's a good place to train, especially in the summer, I think. Yeah.
No, nice stuff. Over to you, Jack.
Yeah, so that's the backstory of the guest. Now we move in. This is created last week, and I reckon it's a goal of going forward.
Yeah.
We're calling it the shoe corner. If you want to sort of run through some of the shoes that you've got in your rotation, we'll start off, I guess, with maybe a favorite daily that you've got at the moment. Then maybe a favorite super shoe.
Yep. Well, I guess my favorite daily for the past 2 years, I think I've had the Mizuno Wave Inspire like 4 or 5 times in a row. Like I've bought that shoe and easy jogged in it for probably like a couple thousand Ks. I don't know why. It's just like I sort of feel if it's if you're feeling good in it and you're not getting injured and you're running well, like why should you change the shoe? Like just keep buying the same one, or if there's a new version, just get that. But I recently changed. Just bought the Super Blast, the Asics Super Blast. Very nice. Kind of quick, but good at slow paces as well. So trying to get more into running with that. And I think I do sessions on the track usually in endorphin speeds, which obviously they don't have a carbon plate, so it's just a little bit, I guess, not as rigid, but it feels a little bit nicer underfoot, like you recover kind of well. And then super shoe at the moment, been using the Alpha Fly, which I used today as well. Alpha Fly 2. Yeah, nice shoe.
Yeah. In that gorgeous pink colorway.
The pink colorway, yeah. It's a very nice, it's a very, you definitely stand out when you wear it. That's for sure. Pink and orange. Yeah.
And do you have any shoes that you've worn in the past that you reckon are absolute classics?
Absolute classics. I mean, you can't really go past a pair of Nike Pegasus. They're a pretty classic shoe. Yeah, like probably the first running shoe I ever had, and I had them a few times. Yeah, I would say those pegs, pretty much a staple shoe for your average runner.
Do you remember which pegs you had?
Hey?
Do you remember which pegs you had?
Pegs? I had 30, I don't know if it was 35, 36, 37, and I don't think I got them after the 37. I think I switched then. Went through various phases of different shoes and then found myself at Mizuno for a while.
Are you still Mizuno or?
No, well,
or Super Blast now? Yeah,
a little bit. I'll see how the Super Blast go, but they've got a pretty expensive price tag, so I don't want to wear it out too quickly. So I might spread some of the load into the Mizunos as well.
It's a big change, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it inspires the Super Blast.
Yeah, it's like a completely different shoe, but they still feel very stable underfoot, and they're kind of soft as well. So I feel like they're just good. I don't know, and they're not even far. Like, I picked up the pace in them the other day, like just in some strides, and they felt like I could have done the 10K in them and probably ran the same time. So they're pretty good shoe, the Super Blast.
Yeah, I reckon they're probably the best. I mean, this is what Tane said today. I'll steal it. They're probably the best all round shoe.
They really are an all round shoe. Like, if you wanted a shoe to just easy jog and thresholds, maybe not like 200s and stuff, that might be a bit slow for that, but thresholds, easy shoe, like pretty good.
Expensive. Right. And how many shoes you got currently in the rotation?
In the rotation, I would say currently active like 3 or 4, probably 4. Yeah, if you include the spikes, which will come out soon.
Oy.
So you got the Wave Inspire, Super Blast, Alpha, and Dragonfly.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm running at the moment. And the endorphin speeds, they're getting on the end of their life, so maybe 5. Call it 5.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Speaking of 5s, mate, I don't know where I'm going, but there's a 5K Collingwood Classic that's been announced in December. So when are you going to open your track season? Is there a set schedule? Like myself and Jack, I think, have fully planned our schedules. So tell us where you're racing first.
I think the first one where I actually have like full proper crack will be probably just milers. Probably aim to do all the milers again.
Yeah,
they were really good. And then Vic 5K champs, I'll have another go there at Lakeside this year. I think they are, so I'll have a go at that. Yeah, milers, few 5Ks. I haven't really chosen what events I'll do at milers and stuff. I don't think they've released it yet. So yeah, probably a few 15s. 800 in there. Throw it in there. Always do one a year. And then I do like the mile. So if they do that again, I'll be in on that.
Sounds good. What do we have next, Jack? Big
week.
That's
it for the guests. We're going to be talking about us.
Not necessarily.
We'll cover your winter season in this segment, but it's all about our week. So, Jerry, we'll get started with how your week has been.
Oh, not as big as your week, Jack. You probably got me by nearly 30K again. But anyway, I started on Tuesday, so Monday rest day again. Tuesday 50 plus strides, so just recovering from tan relays. Didn't want a session. Kept it sensible. 10K at 5:07 pace. Wednesday was just 60 an hour on the treadie at RMIT, so just 12k at 5 minute Ks. The chatty, saves you when you're not feeling it on Wednesday. If you're not feeling it, just go chatty, -8 on your foot and all that, whatever how it works. I don't know. Anyway,
I know it's a bit sus, bit sus
oh,
to upload.
bit
Never been
sus.
sus to manual uploader.
Oh, come on, mate. I'm trustworthy, mate. I'm not bloody. I'm not gonna name names, but there's some people who just bloody do manual upload every single day and think they're actually training. They're just your keyboard bed warriors who just sit on their bed all day. Anyway, enough about that. 45-minute pickup on Thursday. Did 30 easy, and then the last 15 minutes at Prenny was 15 at steady. So the last few K, let me just quickly pull it up, was 403, 358, 416. So your threshold type thing. It was 10k again at 436s. So too many 10ks. Anyway. And then Friday rest day as normal. I'll start doing Friday runs soon. Watch this space. Anyway, Saturday was just park run, Maxi, Taxi, and Craig will be happy. Just my local park run at Kirkdale. Took the W, first ever park run win. 1750 at 334s. I felt like fresh, but then heart rate said it was 190. So I mean,
Yeah.
I can't trust the wrist heart rate. My watch is like 4 years old, so don't trust that. And then 20-minute cool down, 20-minute warm up, which is you're improving your aerobic system by doing that. So I'm just slowly doing that. And then this morning, I probably had like 3 hours of sleep. Just caught up with a few high school mates. So as it is, you still. Isaac tells me if you spend time with mates, you still got to back it up the next day. So got up with Jeevan and Show for a bit, did 80 plus strides. Actually, I've eclipsed my last year's kilometers already with 3 months left, so it just shows no footy means more running. 17.5 Ks at 4:39s. Feeling good, man. 62k for the week. Hopefully back to 3 sessions next week. And yeah, your turn, Jack.
Yeah, that's pretty. Wait, what did you end up for the week?
About 63. Only 50 meters from 63, so round it up. Go on, mate.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good overall training week there, I reckon.
Appreciate it, mate.
I know,
That's
yeah,
yours.
already done the amount of Ks you did last year. That's pretty crazy, eh? Far out. I don't think I'm even gonna make it.
Yeah, that's big gains.
Oh. Anyway,
Come
on, Jack.
Yeah, so my week, little bit of interesting stuff going on. So started off with some Optus mile reps on the Tuesday. Pat, you were there. Oh yeah, you were definitely.
I was there. Did you do 5?
Yeah, so I ended up doing 5.
5.
Averaged what was that? Probably 338-ish. Felt all right. It was a little bit warmer that night, so a lot of people bailed. Not to say that was you, Pat. Obviously you were tapering, but a few people bailed and didn't do the.
Oh, are you talking about me?
No, me. I bailed. I did 2, and then yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't do the full 5 reps, but I did, and I'm proud of it. So leave me alone.
Well done.
Thank you. Then on the day after, got up real early to head home for a couple of days to see the new addition, as I've told it. We've got a new member to the family, Ellie the pug. She's absolutely adorable, full of energy. A little too much energy at some point, to tell you. It was I forgot how much like puppies are just all over the place. Like they just for like
Can it go for with you? Yeah?
Buzzing around trying to bite you and play with toys and whatnot. And then they'll just like fall asleep straight away, kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So just a 12k run, not with a dog, just by myself. Then the following day did 14. So this is sort of a part of my way of sort of getting up the Ks a little bit more now. So stretching that easy day out to be a little bit longer, up to sort of 70 minutes and so. Unfortunately, on that run, I did feel a little niggle slightly just above my knee where the quad connects to the knee, which I forgot what it's called, but it's the tendon that's in there. But didn't really think too much about it. Then on the Friday, which is the day after, I went with a jog with Steve and Stephen Lee. There we go. Did a little bit quicker, 440s, which is a little on the spicier side for me. I'm not used to jogging at that pace, which obviously with a slight niggle was not the right idea. So I was planning on doing a session on the Saturday with Wes. Had to message him saying it's a no-go. So I left him on his own to do his own session.
Oh no.
But it was the right decision to be made. On the Saturday, just did 12K with a group at 5:30, so it was really chill, which was obviously the best choice for nursing a niggle. Then bit of a travel week this week actually, because I then went to the Mornington Peninsula because my girlfriend's cousin had her 30th birthday, so we that was good night. Had free drinks for the whole night, plus free food the whole night. So certainly enjoyed it. Woke up this morning, did 24, which is actually the longest run I've done
Ever?
Or nah.
Oh no, you've done marathon. Yeah.
I reckon it'd be like close to a year almost. I haven't done 24, so a little bit extra, but I wanted to sort of get closer to 90 this week. So I finished on 89, which we'll just round that up to 90. So biggest week since I've come back from my injury, which obviously is everyone says, oh, you shouldn't celebrate your biggest weeks because otherwise it means you're going to get injured the following week.
No.
So I'm not celebrating it. I'm just noting it down.
Yeah.
That was my week. Pat, do you want to talk about your week and then an extension into how your winter season has gone?
Yeah, no worries. I think sort of since I came back from Europe, which is like end of July, I've been sort of rebuilding the Ks a bit. So because I had about a 3-week gap where I didn't really run that much. I went for a few runs in Europe, but just like didn't really run much. So when I came back, sort of had to regain fitness. I think was that race we did at Ballarat. I came back, first race since coming back from Europe. Went out at what I would have liked to have been able to run, and then just completely blew up at 10K and had to walk and then jog to finish it. And it was a nightmare, but we got through that, and then sort of strung a few good weeks of training together, and then I ran Burnley, which was close to a PB, not quite where I would have liked it to be, but still getting back to that PB shape. So I was pretty happy with it. And then the last couple of weeks sort of built my Ks up to about 75 per week. The goal is to try and get to sort of 80 and sit around there before the track season really starts. But peaked at about 75 last week. And last week I actually ran 7 days. So did a little. Usually I take a Monday off, but I did a 3K, very, very slow, just recovery run on the Monday. I find that the Monday run actually makes me feel quite good for the Tuesday session versus taking a day off between long run and session. I felt that my legs sort of feel a little bit better. So probably going to be something I introduce and then take Fridays off, I think, going forward into the future. Yeah. But this week, pretty quiet one. I didn't run Monday, so I took a rest day to sort of reset the legs and kick off sort of I guess you could call it a taper for the race on Sunday, but it was just more like a planned down week with just a race on Sunday to test where I'm at. That's really how I saw it. So gave the legs a rest. Tuesday night, I still did a session, but I did just 2 by mile at just a comfortable effort. And then I did 5 by 200 after the miles just to sort of start getting some speed back into the legs, I guess, going into summer, which was good. And then Wednesday, I think I just did like a 30-minute easy run. And then Thursday, a little bit more. I think I did 45 minutes or 40 minutes around there. And then Friday, I almost took the day off again. But I bought that was the the night I bought a pair of Super Blasts, so I couldn't resist the temptation. I got home after having, what did I have? I think I had, I had some Guzman Gomez burrito.
Burritos.
Yeah, and then 20 minutes later, I started running in the Super Blast, and of course, my legs were feeling pretty fresh because I hadn't ran much. So I started picking up the pace, and then I was nearly going to be sick. Just, just so full. I had to stop and just kind of walk back. And I was pretty happy with the shoes though; they felt good. Nothing wrong with the fitness. It's just I ran too close to eating.
So is that the beef or chicken burrito, Pat, or something else?
I had slow cooked beef or something in it. I think it was that. I don't know. They might have given me pork. To be honest, I don't know. Just a Cali burrito.
I got the fries in there.
There was chips in there.
Oh, that's good.
No wonder you felt sick, mate.
Hey, yeah, I know. Yeah, and I had a nachos as well with it. Yeah. And then after that, we went out for frozen yogurt as well. So bit of a feast. And then I just went running.
So you'd say you're a GYG man?
Yeah, I do like it. Although I'm not a fan of coriander, and they do love to chuck the coriander in there.
Yeah, true.
Hammer it in. I don't know about you boys, but coriander is one of my least favorite flavors. Don't know why, just can't do it. But yeah, don't mind a bit of GGs.
Yeah, right. Well, I was Zambreros man personally.
Sombreros. I haven't had that.
The same, to be honest.
I've had that once. I think I had it at Melbourne Uni actually. Do they have it there still in the cafeteria?
I think so. I'm a regular at the Brunswick establishment.
Oh yeah, my mate works near there at the Coles, so
yeah,
it's good joint there, Jack, isn't it? For Buckley Square one.
Big time. It's the amount of time I'm can't be bothered making anything.
Yeah.
Go to Zambreros.
Yeah.
The thing is, you get to choose exactly what goes on there, where you GYG can't. So that's why I'm saying
you choose the meat. You choose the meat. So if you don't like the rest of the stuff, then that's kind of that's it. You just got to deal with it. But it was good. Just don't recommend running 20 minutes after it. Yeah. But anyway, then what was it? What am I up to? Saturday. So day before the race, or the night before, I just kind of ran I think I ran about 4K. I actually ran on the Albert Park course just because I don't know, just wanted to suss it out. Even though I run there every week, just wanted to hit the road with the lights, under lights.
Did you see my comment on that run?
I feel like I saw you commented, but then by the time I went to go read it, it was gone. You retracted it.
I
was like, what do you say, mate?
It's so embarrassing. So I was like, isn't the run on Sunday? And it was because I thought the day was Friday. And I was like,
so you thought I'd done a shakeout 2 days before the race?
Yeah, 2 days before the race.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm the idiot that didn't realize.
Actually, maybe I did see that, and I was trying to think. I was like, why would Jack say that? The race is 12 hours. If anything, I'm doing this too late. But anyway, I knew I was on that night, last night, because I did a couple of strides just on the road, and I was like, well, I feel pretty good. So I made sure I got a good night of sleep. Woke up at about 5 a.m. this morning. Tried to force down some plain white bread, just something easy on the stomach. And then a bit of water, a bit of Powerade, and then I headed down. Luckily, I was staying only 5-minute drive from the start line, so just headed down. I feel like before a race, my key things are somehow getting food in, somehow getting a warm up in, and somehow going to the toilet before the race. You've always got to go to the toilet. So I didn't feel I had to go at home, so I was a bit worried that it was going to hit me 10 minutes before the start. But then when I got there, I managed to get myself to the toilet. So we were all sorted, did a bit of a warm up. And with the RUN PRIX, which was the event, I guess I should just talk about that. RUN PRIX.
That's the purpose of you being on here. Give us the insight.
Yeah, that's it. It was a pretty well run event. I'll give it to them. It was definitely a fast course. You could not have complained about the conditions. I showed up. I think it must have been about 8 degrees. There was no wind at all. The course was completely closed to cars. There's a few bikes but that's it. They removed like all the traffic islands and stuff that usually you got to run around. And no, there was no like turns or anything. Like you just ran 2 laps of the lake, and it was measured properly. So I think even though they said they measured it with a bike, my GPS split it like 10.01. Like it was perfectly measured. And you could cut all the corners, run the shortest line. There was no issues. But yeah, showed up there. I knew the course was looking good, so I was happy with that. And then just warming up. There was like the way it was set out. It was like an elite race, so you had to, you had to run. I think for men, I think it was like if you send them a qualifying time sub 40, you can run in it. And I think the idea was just to reduce the field so that you weren't lapping people, and the start line was just less congested. So it was pretty well done. Like I think the slowest finisher in my race was like just on 40. So everyone was running pretty well in my race. And yeah, warmed up, did some strides. There's a few big names warming up. There's like, I think Jack Rayner was there, Seth O'Donnell, like a few big names. So it was good to be just sort of warming up alongside them. They certainly looked in good form. And then, we all started. And then I headed out. My goal was to run like, originally it was like early in the year, I thought maybe like sub 35 would be on. But I think just off current fitness, it was more realistic for like 35-20, 35-30. So I went out with that as my goal. Just wanted to split like maybe just over 17:30 for the first 5K and then just see how it went from there. And then, headed out with another Melbourne uni guy, actually. I don't see him too often. I see him at milers sometimes. I think he runs with Tony. Travis. I don't know his last name. I'm pretty sure he's, Travis. So we were running together for, I think, the first 7K. And we were pretty much splitting 3:30s. Like I think my watch says it was a bit slower, but from like the K measurements on the course, like we were splitting 3:30s or just a little bit over around the whole way for the first 7K. I felt pretty good till 7, and then it started to hurt a bit. But I knew I was happy with that because you should be hurting at about 7 or 8 in the 10K. If you're hurting before that, then you're probably not going to finish it well. You probably ran it a bit too quick. But yeah, was pretty happy with that. And then he sort of started to, like I was running behind him, and then it suddenly started to feel like a lot harder. And I was trying to work out whether I'm blowing up or he's picking up the pace. And then he was picking up the pace. So I think he ended up running 34 high. So he finished it off pretty good. And I sort of just stuck at that 3:33 odd pace and then ran I think it was 35:39 net time. So pretty happy with that. And I think, end of this track season with a bit more speed in the legs. I think sub 35 could be on. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at splits now. You went 3:33, 34, 33, 34, 31, 32, 32, 37, 38, 31. So it was like really consistent.
Yeah.
Like that's how you train, that's how you race. So
yeah,
you should be very happy about
it was
performance.
Pretty evenly split. I think 7 and 8 was a bit of a mental push, but managed to pick it up a little bit in the last one. So yeah, I think there's definitely room for better performances, but pretty happy with that. And 22nd PB, I think. So can't complain. Happy days.
Yeah, happy days, happy life. We might actually touch on one of your close mates who got the Malaysian record. Do you want to tell us about Big Sean, mate? So he claims it was 15:50, but officially it was 15:53. Still massive run. You were there. Tell us the emotions, how he felt.
Yeah, so I was actually running. I finished my race and then I sort of ran. There was another 10K event with the other like non-sub 40 people, and my girlfriend was running in that. So I was running with her the whole way of her race as well for my cool down. And then just as she finished, they was calling in like the first place getters for the 5K. So I heard them calling in someone someone was about to run like 14 low. They're like, oh, he's going to run 14, 15. And I looked up. I'm like, come on, please be Sham. Like, please be Sham. Like, maybe he's like just run some crazy time or something. But it was another guy. And then another guy came in at around 15, 20 odd. And then there were three very close, or two or three very close. And then Sham was one of them. So, yeah, he pulled it in around 15:50. Not too sure exactly what time was. But, yeah, he was obviously stoked with that. Yeah, sub 16 Malaysian record. Can't complain. And I'm sure in the track season, I think he can run a lot faster.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it just shows our squad is pushing each other, and it's awesome to see you, Sham, plenty more PBing. Jack, do you want to read the list of honourable mentions?
Yeah, so we had at the Run Prix, obviously the 5K that Sham ran, 10K that a few others ran and a half. So Sham officially 15:53 with the claim of 15:50. I'm not sure where his claim is coming from there, but I'm sure he'll let us know why he believes that he ran the 15:50. Then we've got the 10K, which Pat already alluded to with Naomi, the tennis playing lover of Pat, running 48:14, and Cassie 40:46, which I believe is a PB as well. I do apologize to listeners. I haven't actually put in which ones are PBs and which ones aren't. So I will just say congratulations to all. Then we've got in the male 10K runners, we've got Dustin with a 37:33, which I do know is a PB. Then Finn Baker for 37:19. Mr. Nicholls 35:39, which is a PB.
It is a PB, yeah.
Tyler Mboa with a 36:22. Corey Hart with a 34:43. Johnny Squire 33:36. And Travis, as you already mentioned, ended up running a 34:51. Then in the half, who I don't believe is an official MUAC runner, but certainly does train with us, is Tor Al. I believe that's how you say his name, with an 83:11 half, who is currently training for the Melbourne Mara, so is still got some tired legs.
Yeah, well, that's about 10 MUAC runners, getting obviously their race kits backing up from 10 relays a week before, so good on all of you guys. Because I would have been gone if I did the Run Prix, I reckon. But very proud of you boys. Obviously, Sham, Pat, we all train at Dev Squad together, and it's good seeing the same boys, keep pushing themselves and keep PBing, because that's what we're all about. PB Central is one of our highlights we chuck on Instagram, so anyway, move on to Jack's special segment. I don't know what's in store for this week, but last week got butchered about Russell Crowe and New Zealand culture. Now, who knows, Pat? This could be fireworks.
Yeah, nice. I've been thinking about this all week.
Well, I'm glad we only do weekly shows, because it does take me a little while to think of it, even though they're not overly creative. It does take me a little while to think of something special for the guests. So, Pat, Mr. Nicholls, you are a pilot.
Yes.
I was trying to work it around that.
Working, yeah.
So this segment is called Destination Delights, right? And so we're gonna run through a few different A or Bs. We're gonna have a little discussion about it, what our thoughts are, and it's all about different places. So there might be A or B, and we sort of talk about, first of all, thoughts of what we prefer in general, and then also which we'd prefer to run at that destination.
All right.
So we'll when we get going, we'll understand what it's all about. So the first one is beach or bush. We'll start off with general living. Would you prefer to live near the beach or in the bush?
Me, in the beach or in the bush? Wow. I reckon I'd rather live near the beach. I reckon I'm even though I wouldn't say I'm a beach person, definitely not a beach person, but compared to the bush, like there's a bit more going on, I guess. Like air's a bit fresher, the ground's a bit flatter. I don't know. get my
What do you
tan
reckon?
on. Yeah.
Me, yeah, I reckon beach as well because it's bushfire season. I'm not trying to get myself stranded and like going to the next suburb like constantly. I just want to enjoy the summer heat, and as Pat was saying, it's probably softer ground as well compared to your rocky terrain in the bush. Maybe, I don't know.
Interesting. And does our thoughts change if we're talking running, of which you'd prefer to run along the beach or by a footpath that's along the beach or through the bush?
Yeah, by footpath along the beach, definitely. Pat.
I just reckon it depends on the conditions. Like, if it was a really hot day, sometimes a nice little trail run like, through in the shade can be quite nice. Whereas the beach, like, you're just stopping every 5 minutes to get water. But if it's really like muddy and stuff, that's when it can get a bit hard running on those trails. I don't mind the trails, especially when there's like hills and stuff, and the views are quite nice and that. But yeah, I just say it depends. Like sometimes you just get bored of running on the footpath along the beach. So yeah, I'd probably even say the bush for this one. I'd probably rather run in the bush. But if I had to live somewhere, probably rather live near the beach
Yeah,
and then go to the bush
yeah.
to run.
certainly for running, I'm 100% back in the bush. I'll give you this. First of all, obviously you got the shade, right? Number two, it kind of you've got lots of different things that's going on. It's not just a beach that you're looking at, right? There's
I
lots of
see.
different trails. There's a good terrain. Sometimes you can do some flat bits, sometimes some hilly bits. And then the beach, it's always windy. Like the weather's never that great at the beach,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to be
Oh,
running with a headwind.
depends where you are though. If you're in the Gold Coast, that's a different story. Beautiful every day. Like you feel like you have to run along the beach. There's no bush there, mate. You're exposed.
No, I'll back the bush, but the idea of living near the beach, I don't mind. That being said, like there's just nothing better than like just being amongst the trees. You know what I mean? Like call me a nature nerd, but it's just like it's just calming. You got all the oxygen, you got the excess oxygen from all these trees that are giving you oxygen. You
That's
don't get
it.
that at the beach. Sand doesn't give you oxygen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'm not all beach. Sorry to cut you off. If Pat, like I go Mary Creek all the time as well, and yeah, what are you gonna say, Pat?
Oh, I would say like there's always it adds a bit of a level of even adrenaline at some points. I know some like I've done some trail runs like out at Mount Masson and various places, and like it's a bit more exciting. Like there's a chance you might get lost. Like you don't know. Like you know maybe you hear some weird noises. You're like shit. Am I being is something following me? Like I know once I was doing a trail run at Mount Macedon and I heard something like just like following me as I was running, and I couldn't quite work out what it was. And then when I got to the top of the hill, it was a fox, and it had followed me for like 3K. Like obviously a fox not going to do anything, but like yeah, it was crazy. I don't know. I feel it just adds a level of excitement, especially if you're with a group of people. It's sometimes fun just hit up a trail and see where it takes you.
I can assure you, it's not fun when it's pitch black. Like last week, after that show, Jack, I ran on Mary Creek and almost died, mate. There's a dog barking at me, and I fucking shit myself. Like I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized, oh, it was a dog, and the owners just pissed themselves when I was like, "Yo, is that?" I can't even remember what I was like reacting. I think I jumped and said something, and then yeah, it was hilarious. So. Yeah, anyway, I probably wouldn't be doing pitch black runs. I had a headlamp, mind you, and still couldn't see a thing. So, yeah, daylight, please.
Nah, fair, fair. I don't mind those responses. All right. So the next one we've got is the the hustle and bustle of a mega city compared to rural Australia or a rural town in general.
Depends how
Rural,
rural.
yeah, rural town for sure. That wins.
I'd say we're talking like less than 5,000 people.
Yeah, but like how far from like the city?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's like
Oh,
it's just you've got to live there.
Oh, is this living?
Well, you got living and also running. We're kind
All
of
right, for
separating
for
it, but we're
oh,
still talking about both.
for living, I would say the city ain't bad. Like, there's a lot of everything you need is there. You don't have to drive like an hour to get anywhere. Like, it's everything's pretty close. It's pretty easy to live there. Whereas for running, the rural locations are way better. Like there's no traffic. Like if you want to run on the side of the road, you can do that. You don't have to stop every 5 minutes for a traffic light. Like you don't have to be scared that someone's gonna rob you or something like that. Like you're pretty comfortable with your own town, and it's like pretty chill. Like even at night out here where I live, like I have no worries. Like
Really?
I'll just run. Yeah. Whereas in Melbourne, like you got to consider where you live. Stay where there's street lights and stuff like that. Whereas out here, like Gisborne, Masson, like it's very safe. Like you just feel a lot more comfortable of an area to run. Lots of varying terrain as well. Like in the city, sometimes you're just running on footpaths all the time, very hard on your legs. Like there's nothing better than just having like a nice flat gravel road and just run for days.
I may have to disagree with that because growing up in the city, like even though there's traffic lights all the time, right now living in like Northcote, there's a loop that goes down to Collingwood and then comes back, and there's no traffic lights or pedestrian crossings at all. So an hour, 10 is the max I think you can do that loop, but that works fine. And then you got Mary Creek where there's no traffic lights as well. So there's two loops that go for more than 2.5 hours, and they're both very picturesque nature reserves. But yeah, like I do see both points, and safety wise, like it's fine not to. That depends what time you go. If you're going Wes Hay territory at 12 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he does that. Right?
Like I'd be fearing for my life. I'm like 5'7", 50 kegs. I'd get fucking murdered, I reckon. Anyway, what about you boys? Do you reckon you stand a chance at 12 a.m. against some, I don't know, ninja warrior or something?
Nah, no chat. I mean, I'd back myself in running away from him.
Yeah.
But,
probably yeah. I went for a run at Maribyrnong once at midnight.
Oh.
Yeah, and these bunch of like Eshe looking guys came up and started running alongside me, and they're like, "You think you can run? You think you can run?" And I think I upped the pace by like from 4:50 to 4:40, and that they were dropped in a matter of 2 minutes.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that was the end of them.
Yeah, that's a good story. Might have to reel that. I felt like I was gonna say, oh, did you just go from 4:40 to 3:40 out of fear, or nah, you just dropped them just like casually? Yeah.
Nah, I think they were just joking. I think they might have had a bit to drink, but it was kind of funny. I just upped the pace just a little bit, and yeah, they were finished. They could not hold it. So yeah, I agree with Jack. Like as a runner, with the general public, like you should be able to outrun them. Like we probably shouldn't fight them. Just turn around the other direction and just sprint.
That's a fair call.
We're not going to get right.
Even like on your nights out, like there's a few people who, want to start something. Like I'll just go the other way. Like catch me if you can, mate. Sonic the Turbo or something.
Sonic the Turbo.
I don't know. First thing that came up here. Anyway, back to you, mate.
Back to me. All right, so we've got a couple more to go. Obviously we've got Melbourne. With you look at the Victoria, you got Melbourne that's sort of in the centre, and then on both sides you got the Mornington Peninsula, and then you got the Great Ocean Road with sort of Torquay and Lorne and whatnot. I don't even know if we've all been to both sides, but do we have a preference of which side of the bay is the better side?
We'll go Pat first.
I think just being from Gisborne, I'm just a west side guy. Like just a lot more used to that side because like that's where you go. Like you don't go through Melbourne to go anywhere. Like you just stay to your side. Like if we go to the beach, we'll go to like Torquay or Polo Bay or like Port Arlington, something like that. Whereas places like Rosebud or Mornington, you just don't go there because you have to go through the Burnley Tunnel or something like that. Like who wants to do that? So I'd say I'm a west side guy in general.
Yeah, I agree with Pat here. I've been to Geelong Beach and all that Eastern Beach many times. But like my best mate, his family's from there. Haven't really touched Mornington Peninsula or Rosebud area, so I can't really, give a vote there. But I've heard good things about there, but still, if I haven't been, I can't really say anything there. Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a hard one. So I've got, so Mornington has, like, it's great for flat running, which obviously I did a long run this morning there. You've got, like, your Great Ocean Road has got great trails, which I feel like I prefer. If you're gonna have a good run, a trail run is going to be the better run instead of just
Yeah.
on the ocean. But also, like, the vibe is different. So, like, if you go to, like, Lawn or Anglesey or whatever, or further down, it's got, like, a classic, like, country town vibe, which I quite like. And then Peninsula, it feels halfway between, like, metro and country. It's got still, like, a bit of a busy vibe to it.
I think it's a party life that you're talking about, mate. Mornington people, like I've heard Sorrento during New Year's is just ridiculous, mate.
It is a popular spot down there. So
I'd go with that. Yeah. I actually did a run. It's a pretty big event, actually. 2 bays trail run. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. On the Mornington Peninsula. It goes from like Cape Shank to Dramana. It's like 28K one way. And then usually people run it both directions. So 56 for the full thing. And yeah, that was a pretty good run. That was on the Mornington. So I would say that's probably the only event I've done down there. That was back when I started, so one of the first races I did. So yeah, some good running on the peninsula, that's for sure.
Oh, good
Yeah, right.
stuff.
And the last one, which is probably not necessarily a live. Oh, we could do a live if we want, but given the Berlin Marathon has just happened today, I've got a. Would you rather run in the Berlin Marathon or the Boston Marathon?
Oh, I think I think I'd have to do. I think I'd be a Boston. I think I'd run Boston. I don't know. I just feel like even before I was a runner, I knew what the Boston Marathon was. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I knew you just heard of it. Whereas Berlin and stuff, I didn't really know much about, or the marathon majors, didn't even really know much about that until I started running and getting into it. But yeah, Boston, I think. If I had to do one of those, I'd be at Boston. Plus, that area, kind of want to travel around there. So yeah, you'd find me at Boston.
Yeah. Speaking of marathons, we might go Berlin now and then finish with a funny story. Because sometimes people.
Do you wanna give your opinion?
Yeah. Wait. What
Yes, you got
Oh,
one job. That's to
yeah.
pay doing podcast.
Oh, I figured his story was more important, but anyway, Berlin or Boston. Um, well, we're talking about Berlin now, so I might go Berlin at the moment because Boston, I feel like I remember fondly with 10 years ago when the bombings happened. Would have been 8 at the time, but I remember mum and dad put it on the TV, and I was like, "Geez, this is a running race that's like had a pretty much a terror attack. That's just horrible." And yeah, it's just etched in my memory. Even though I was 9, I didn't know nothing about running, but still, that's just etched there. And Berlin, Kipchoge doing what he did today, which we'll quickly touch on soon. It's just I've heard good stuff from Aussies who've run well there before. It's a very flat course. I feel like I love to go to Berlin. Germany seems like a very chill country. Like, I'm really going to the US next year. So I mean, Boston is the iconic one, but Berlin's just feels a bit bougie. I don't know. Is that a good word to describe it? Anyway, aside from that bouginess, what was another bougie result, Jack? What happened today?
At the Berlin Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, I would agree with you. So I would lock in Berlin over Boston. As much as Boston's got the prestige to it, Berlin just seems like the better place to go and the better place to run, given a bit of a flat course. So, but yes, the Berlin Marathon did happen today. We had a few standout, well, couple standout performances and one other performance. So we've got Kipchoge, a 2:02:42 as a eighth all time and his fifth Berlin Marathon victory. Oh, Tigsk Assefa, right? I actually haven't heard of this lady.
Assefa, I think.
But she's done a bloody good job, I'll tell you that much. 2:11:53 with a new world record by over 2 minutes.
That's
which is a bloody great effort. And then Liam Adams, who was going for the Australian record, unfortunately falling a fair bit short, about 4 minutes off Brett's record of 2:07:31, I think it is.
Yeah, 30.
Was that, Pat?
Yeah, I think it's 30 flat. I think 31.
Flat,
yeah.
2:11:47. So yeah, fair bit off that one. I do want to bring up a little discussion point that I've had today. Do we think Kipchoge is done?
What do you mean by done? Like,
do you think he's done setting records? He's too old now.
The thing with records, like, it's not necessarily world records anymore. It's more his build up towards Paris next year. We'll see what if he wants to go, 3 in a row for marathons there and then retire there. I feel like that's where he's going. He's, closer to 40 than 30. So I think it's just the smart option. He's not going to be, I think, getting any more world records, just more those world majors and Olympic golds and all that he's aiming for. Pat?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think he's I think the world record, you don't get too many cracks at that. Like you probably got that 1 or 2 races in your life where you haven't got that cumulative fatigue and you're so fit that you can do it. But I think he's just so good that he could still win those marathon majors and Olympic marathons for still some time if he wanted to. He's, we're talking about him not getting close to the world record, but he still ran a 2:02. He's probably ran the 8th or 9th fastest marathon of all time. He's easily one of the greatest of all time. So I think he could still be winning them for a long time if he wanted to. It's just whether or not he wants that, or if the world record is his main go. Yeah, a lot of respect for him.
It's crazy. Just quickly on those results again. So Assefa, won the women's and world record. She got beat by Liam by 6 seconds. So that's just shows the magnitude of what she did today. Liam Adams, would have been 4th at Com Games last year, I think it was, something like that. And then the fact that a female is running his time pretty much, it's incredible. What you can do if you just pretty much train hard. Obviously coming from Ethiopia, a lot of altitude, Kenya as well. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So do you reckon a female in the next 5-10 years can? I'm not gonna maybe break 2:10. I don't know. Is that possible? Or?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, 5 years. I mean, to take 2 minutes off. She's just taken 2 minutes off, and another 2 minutes takes you under 2:10. So probably, I'd back it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past this girl doing it. Even some of those other girls running in the 1500s, 5K at the moment, running some pretty impressive times that they went to the marathon. I think some of them could easily run some quick times.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. And I don't know how this segues, but anyway, we nearly forgot this story, which I'm not happy about because Pat said he'd say it straight off the bat, but he obviously clearly forgot. Anyway, he's told us this a few times over the past few weeks, but it's a recent story, and this will be one of the things we chuck on later. But anyway, Donald Trump is a very obviously interesting bloke, but you know where we're going, Pat. So,
I see where this is going.
Anyway, I'm not going to give too much of a snapshot because I'll let the main man tell the story.
Yeah, okay. So I was telling this to the boys last week. It's pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny. But so anyway, I've had a few in the last sort of month or so, but I got a parking fine. I overslept. I forgot about the car, parked out. I think it was I hadn't had a Monday off in a long time. Usually I have weekdays off, or weekends off, so it doesn't matter. You don't need to pay for parking on the weekend, so I usually wouldn't think about it. And this Monday, I just slept in and didn't think about it. I looked out over the balcony, could see the fine on my car, and I'm like, damn, they've got me. And I walked down the stairs, go down the lift to go check it out, and there was like a construction site sort of taped off around my car, and I was like, "Oh, hang on, I'll take a picture here," and I'll like make up some story that I couldn't get to the machine or something like that. I'll tell them that I'll take a picture, and I'll say, "Oh, I couldn't get there," and then I'll get off the phone. So I took the picture, and then I sent him a letter saying my story and what happened and all that. And I attached what I thought was the picture to that email, and I sent it off. And then about 2 weeks later, I hadn't heard anything. I got a letter in the mail. I opened it up, and I'm reading it, and I found out that the letter and that was all fine, but the picture I had sent them was because I had sent it from my phone. I didn't check that I clicked on the right picture. And what I've sent him is like some point during that week, I think Donald Trump got put in jail or something like that, or he got arrested. There was a mugshot, and I sent it to my mate as a joke, and it was still in my photo library, and I had attached it. I attached it to the email, and that's what I sent to appeal my parking fine. It was just some stuff saying there was a construction site, and then a picture of Donald Trump's mugshot. That's what it said in the letter. They said, "Please note, you've sent us a picture of Donald Trump's mugshot, and you owe us $92." Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So what do you reckon the grab should be called? Mugshot fine, and then chuck Donald Trump's face in the middle or something? Yeah.
To be honest, I'm glad I did it. Like, yeah. I probably would have done it as a joke anyway. I probably wouldn't have had the guts to push send. So the fact that I've done it without realizing is probably good. I'm sure they would have got a laugh out of it. I can't see how it would be very exciting working in the fines department at the council. Surely they got a bit of a laugh out of it. Yeah, no. And long story short, I got to pay the fine. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. I mean, they should have reduced the fine purely because of that.
Yeah,
making them laugh. I reckon that guy or girl might have, fallen off a chair laughing, and then still chuck your $92 fine. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Amazing story, mate.
That's my story.
When you told us, we just pissed ourselves laughing, and keep sharing those stories, Pat. I'm sure you'll have many more next time you come on. So
yeah, plenty more where that came from. Yeah.
Many more parking fines to go.
Yeah, I've had a few. Yeah, we won't go there. Yeah.
More than 10 or less than 10?
I would say it's probably about 5 to 10. I don't know. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Don't have too much luck with the Port Phillip Council.
Yeah, fair. Give them a cheeky plug. I mean, more publicity for them. So
I guess their rules. It's my fault.
I feel like Port Phillip Bay, there's lots of seagulls there. They might have got the seagull, in Harry Potter, like the owl, whatever. They got a seagull to like put the
yeah, probably.
Bit dodgy there, anyway.
We'll get him on the podcast next week.
Yeah, we'll get the.
I'm sure they found it funny. Yeah.
Good stuff. Any other remarks, Jack? Any shout outs, Pat? You want to thank all the people over the years helped your running career? Or?
Definitely appreciate everything Melbourne Uni does with all the squads, especially Max taking us into his squad when we were sort of around that just above sub 17 5K range. I don't think I would have gone sub 17 if I wasn't in Max's squad. With the sessions we do and the consistency on the Tuesdays and the people around us. So I think that's the main thing. And looking forward to working in the squad forever. I think I won't be leaving.
Unless cheeky big contract from Box Hill maybe.
Yeah. Oh no. I couldn't run for any other club.
Yeah, same.
Melbourne Uni for life.
Yeah, same. Well, we've signed it tonight.
That's it.
There you go.
Lifetime. Yeah.
Lifetime. Jack, where's your signature, mate? This guy's.
We'll see.
Oh no, Pat. He might be making a move to. I'm not going to name names, but he might be gone this summer.
Yeah, we don't know.
Might not be called the Parkville Project anymore. No, I'm joking.
Back
anyway.
project.
Be off the.
Oh, come on! You can't go back and forth, mate.
Nah.
Anyway. Nah, good stuff. Jack, you want to close us off?
Yeah, certainly can. So this has been episode 4 of the Parkville Project. Much appreciated Pat coming on to the podcast, even though we've I guess just ticked over 10 p.m. at night that we've been recording.
I didn't even check that. It actually is. It's 10:04.
Pat had to drive from Melbourne to Riddles Creek. I'm sure many of the listeners don't even know where Riddles Creek is, but it's
I
certainly
don't know where it is.
it's not just down the road.
Yeah, it's a great place. Great place. It does have a V-Line train station.
That's actually all I know about it because it's like on the way to Bendigo on the V-Line.
So how far is your place from the V-Line station? Is it like 10 minutes
you could walk there in 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. We'll catch the V-Line to yours next time, Pat.
That's it. Do a longie up to the mountains.
Oh, jeez. Maybe some summer base building or something. Yeah, we'll do that.
That's it.
That's a plan, mate. Easy as. Well, we'll let you go, mate. I know you might be flying to another destination or piloting it tomorrow, so we'll leave you to it. Jack, you do statistics tomorrow as well. Myself, bit of news reporting. You know, we all have our different niches, but yeah, that's been episode 4 of the Parkville Project. Really appreciate your time, Pat. And episode 5 next week is going to be another probably Dev Squad member. So we're out.